What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Tour Junkies betting podcast for the first event of the Fedex Cup playoffs, the Fedex St. Jude Championship from TPC Southwind. I'm DB. I got Pat Perry with me. We ready to rock and roll, Pat? You know we're good, man. We're good. We've we didn't have Tom Kim. We didn't have Tom Kim. We were one of the few people that didn't have Tom Kim. We weren't going to be suckers. You know what I mean? But we got egg on our face, and Tom is a stud. It was great to watch. I love the kid, love the young man. We're gonna try to get him on the podcast. He sounds like an awesome South Korean that we just absolutely love. Although he grew up in Australia, but we weren't on him. We weren't on him. You had Taylor Moore on your card. He had a good week. I didn't really have any outrights doing anything. I mean, I had like Stallings and Poston kind of hanging around, but never really in contention.
Henley was up there. I had Henley on the card.
Yeah, he kind of.
God, what is his putting?
He's
what
got
the hell?
On the
he had like 3 holes in a row where he had like 5-footers, like just great iron shots in, miss putt.
I guess the biggest hit I had was the 20-1 top 20 bet on Max McGreevy, who finished 5th. Mm-hmm. Shout out Max McGreevy, our boy Brett Swedberg on the bag for him. Love to see it. Love to see Max doing what he did. That was a lot of fun. A lot of people bet that actually too. We got some people saw it in our Instagram DMs that hit that. One dude put $100 on McGreevy to top 20. So it's pretty sick. Somebody on Instagram did that.
Yeah, I mean that's. I don't think you're going to see any 20-1s this week.
No, not. Well, actually, I think there might be one or two, but not many. You're right. 124-man field cut event, though. We are going to have that. We're going to get into it a little bit here in a second. Pat, I do want to talk. Well, no, we'll hold off on that. As always, presented to you by our friends at Covers, covers.com. Winning starts at covers.com. Check them out. Sponsoring the podcast this year. We appreciate Covers. Go check out the content. And most of it's free, like 90% of it's free. They got a great forum over there if you want to get involved and chat amongst some friends over there. NFL content over there is banging. Adam Chernoff's up there doing great things in the NFL world. So, but they got all the sports. They've been doing it 25 years. 20 million sports bettors flock there annually. This is not a fly-by-night pop-up sports betting content site. These guys know what they're doing, and they've been doing it a long time. So go check it out and check out our weekly Tuesday article. Hopefully you didn't check it out last week. It was kind of a big whiffer last week. The week before was really good. Last week was kind of a big whiffer. So, but it's okay. It's okay. It's free content, whatever. It takes you 4 minutes to read it. You can make up your mind how you want to. We try to sell you on the picks. It is what it is. Last week, if you bought any of what we were selling, that sucked for you, okay? This week, we'll be better. We promise. But go check it out. It's free content, head-to-head matchups, top 20s, finish position bets, other prop bets, etc. All there on covers.com. All right, Pat. It's the FedEx St. Jude Championship.
Yes.
First leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs. They're going to have a cut this week. Still top 65 in ties.
Mm-hmm.
Then the top 70 in FedEx Cup point standings will advance next week. I think they're playing in Delaware next week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Wilmington Country Club or something.
I'm in Delaware.
Do
you know what that's from?
No, I have no idea. Where's that from?
Sam does.
Is it Seinfeld?
It's from Wayne's World.
Oh, I love Wayne's World.
They got the green screen behind them, and they keep throwing up and they're like playing with the green screen, and then they put Delaware behind them, and he's like, and Wayne's like, "Hey, I'm in Delaware." Like he has nothing to say. It's great.
That. Oh, that's such a
I'm
great
glad
movie.
Sam got that.
Yeah, that one right over my head. Normally I'm good with this. We got, and then obviously it's going to culminate at East Lake in Atlanta. And then we're going to get a 2-week break, and the new season's going to, the President's Cup's going to happen. The new season's going to start rolling, and here we go. You know what I mean? So it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Let's get to the top of the betting board though, Pat, and let's talk about some names up here. Kind of in that, 25 up to 25 to 1 range here at the FedEx St. Jude. We're looking at DraftKings numbers on the screen, but we're going to do some line shopping, talk about who we like right now. Rory McIlroy hops it off at 9 to 1. You got a stable of, young studs and stallions at 14 to 1, being Patrick Cantlay, Fitzpatrick, JT, Xander, and Scotty Scheffler, followed by Cam Smith at 18 to 1. John Rahm falling all the way to 20 to 1.
Just a free fall for Rahm.
Free fall.
When was the last time Rahm was at anywhere near 20 to 1?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Pat, can you? I can't read the last name on the board there at 22. Can you read that for me?
I can't. I'm not allowed to say his name. I
Oh,
have
what?
I have a personal ban on his name, so you're gonna have to say it. I can't say it.
Wow.
Sorry.
You have a personal ban on Will Zalatoris. Gag order. You've gagged
I've
yourself on
gagged
Will Zalatoris.
myself on him.
Man, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Willie Z because you thought you're going to be victory lapping this week,
I did. I was ready for a victory lap.
buddy. I mean, me and producer Sam tried to tell you. We tried
I
to tell you.
look. I
I think I even called the fact that he was going to make it in on the cut, and he did. He made it in
Yeah,
on
but
the
then he
number
played. He played
for the second week in a row.
Okay, but let me at least argue for him, even though I can't say his name. And I texted you this yesterday with Sam. He had 22 birdies that included 2 eagles in this golf tournament. Okay, now still probably wouldn't have won the golf tournament if he made 0 bogeys at all. Well, he may have won then. Would he have won? Anyway,
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
know,
It,
but
it,
he
it
finished
doesn't matter.
20th.
He made a shit ton of bogeys. It was ridiculous. So the argument that he can't score in events like this kind of didn't really hold water this week or last week. But you were right. I will give you and Sam this on that person. You were right. But he did have a lot of birdies. He just screwed up a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you were debating him. We were arguing over whether it was prudent to play him and whether or not we were ready to commit to him actually winning his first event at 16-1. And the proposition that I gave to you was, is it really going to be a victory if we win, if we hit Will Z at 16-1 at this point? Because people just keep firing on him every single week and he's not winning yet. Do I think he's going to win? Yes, I think he's going to win at some point for sure. But I mean, how crazy is it that freaking Tom Kim, the first PGA Tour victory from a player born in the 2000s, Pat. How does that make you feel? First person ever to win a PGA Tour event born in the 2000s.
Why do you always got to bring up age things? I mean, age doesn't matter these days, DB, as much. Okay. Yeah, he's a young kid. By the way, I freaking love Tom Kim. I just love him. And very excited that he won. How does Willie, well, dang it, I can't say his name. How does that guy feel that this guy came out and has only been on tour for, or really hasn't, it doesn't even have his real tour membership and
now
wins.
he does.
Yeah,
Now he does. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I do want to remind people too. I know this is a betting show, but the draft, the listener league for the Tour Junkies and the Nut Hut, the listener league finals are this week. So if you are in the finals, whoever wins this week is going to win a trip to come play golf with me and Pat in Georgia, either in Savannah at the Landings Club or in Augusta right here at Champions Retreat. Whoever wins this week is going to win that. So if you're in the finals, you have to be in the Nut Hut to get the link. So you better get in there and get it because it's a big week. I'm excited to see who it's going to be. Excited to see for that. What's this now? The third year in a row we've done this, I think.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. You're going to get your entries, in your invitation sent to you via AC. That's that's Nut Hut AC. AC will send those invitations to you. I needed to make sure I said that to the betting people. All right, top of the board, Pat. I mean, I think in this range, I talked about one name, and I've kind of come around on another name since doing the early morning Monday looker there. First look there. I mean, I love Tony Finau. I love Tony Finau at 20. He's 22-1 on FanDuel last I looked before the show. I don't understand why he's 22-1. The only thing I can think is that maybe the books are really, really weighing course history or something because he's not had a great record at TPC Southwind, but that's not like the books to do. I don't know why he's. I mean, as good as he's played, and I know it's the Rocket Mortgage and the 3M. It's not super strong fields, but I mean, this is the time of year he turned up last year, right? At the playoffs, and he won the Northern Trust. Not at this tournament or not at this venue, but won the first FedEx playoff event. And he's coming off of back-to-back wins. I just think, why is Tony Finau longer than Xander Schauffele in a lot of books? I mean, I know Xander's, done his thing too this year.
He's playing well too.
I mean, I still don't get it. I mean, Finau is hot right now. Very, very hot. And I'm ready to get on that train. I missed the last 2 wins. I don't want to miss it this week. So maybe I'm riding the vapor trail that Finau's going to leave behind. It's going to lead to nothing, but I kind of like it. I got another one that I like though, Pat.
Okay.
It's Willie Z.
Oh gosh. Jeez.
It's Willie Z. Listen.
Damn it.
Willie Z comes out on this golf course for the first time, seeing it last year, finishes, what does he finish? 8th? Where is he? Yeah, he finishes 8th. Okay. You mentioned it. He's making a lot of birdies. We talked about it. He's making a ton of birdies, Pat. But I just think Will Z, this is a place where ball strikers a premium. Bad putters can do fine here. Bad putters can do fine. And Willie Z is a bad putter. I just think this is an interesting spot for the kid, TPC Southwind. Bermuda is one of his better surfaces. At least it's not bent. He's terrible on bent. I don't know. Now that he's up over 20-1, I'm a little more interested now. 28. Yeah, there's a 28-1 at another book. That's an offshore book, but you can get Will Z at plus 20 or 22-1. 22-1 on DraftKings. What do you think?
Okay. I mean, I can't talk about him, but good. I mean, you make a very good
26-1 on FanDuel. Oh my God, he's 26-1 on FanDuel. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good
value
case
there, Pat.
Look, it is a pretty difficult course, and he does tend to play better on these difficult courses in kind of major championship fields. Obviously, we've seen that with him.
That's what I like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those two for me.
We don't have. Well, I do agree on Finau, but I do have 2 others that I wrote down that you did not talk about. One is I'll start with Matthew Fitzpatrick at 22-1.
Fitzpatrick.
Love Fitzy this week at 22-1. He's got a good history here. He finished top 10 here in 2020, top 5 in 2019. This is a guy who's obviously in great form this year. You look at all the stats that you want to look at that you got to do to play well here. He's his ball striking's great right now, top 25 in the field. He's 21st. When you look at total strokes gained, I look just TPC Southwind over the last, 24 rounds or whatever it was. He's 21st in the field there. Putts really well in Bermuda. He's 3rd in the field there. So I like Fitzy at 22-1. And then JT, I'm seeing him at 18-1. I think JT at 18-1 is a good number. I mean, he's won here before. I don't really care what we saw over in Scotland. I think there's a lot of guys that you could look at this week that did not play well in Scotland that will play well at this course. So the break's probably good for him. So JT at 18-1, Fitzy at 22-1. Those are really my 2 favorites up here, less than 25-1.
So consensus on Finau and Fitzy. We both like Finau and Fitzpatrick a lot. I mean, I like JT too. It's hard not to like JT. I guess the fade in this range is Rahm, even at 20-1 for me. That's still not an attractive enough number. If he was like 30-1, which maybe some people are saying like, DB, you're crazy. Like you should be betting Rahm at 20-1, but I don't think we should. I think the fade up here is still Rahm at 20-1. I think if he's 25-1, I'm fading him. He's shown us nothing. His short game has been a problem all year, and short game matters here at TPC Southwind. By the way, if you want the course breakdown, I did everything you need to know and nothing you don't in 15 minutes on the podcast feed as well as the YouTube channel. So check that out on TPC Southwind. I just think Rahm's the guy to stay away from. Would you agree?
I would sort of, but then I think I could contradict myself on the DraftKings show. Like, I think there's a chance that I could end up landing on him in DFS.
Well, you don't need him. I mean, in DraftKings, obviously, it's a different game. You don't need him to win at the price. You need him to probably top 10 at
still
worst.
At least finish well and make a lot of birdies. But still, I think I could see me playing him in DFS, but I don't really see him winning this week. He hasn't really shown anything.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm with you. I think a lot of people will want to play him at that number, and it might be a little bit of a sucker play. So, yeah,
okay.
We agree there.
All right, so we got to talk about something before we move on to the next part of the range, and that is the live golf event coming up in September. Golby's Cup, the support group Saturday Scramble on Saturday in Pennsylvania. There's some news. There's some new things, new developments going on with the live event that I want to let people know about. First of all, if you want to come and just hang out with the tour junkies, hang out with our friends, come to Mountain Valley. You don't want to play golf, but you want to eat and you want to drink real nice and you want to have a good time, have a good party, watch some sports. We're going to be watching the President's Cup, college football Saturday night, Sunday, possibly waking up, nursing some whatever, getting some IV treatments on Sunday morning with the NFL for those that can stick around. It's going to be a good time. If you just want to come and do that, we do have spectator tickets for sale, and you have to buy those. You have to go buy the spectator tickets in the link in the description of this video or podcast. You can check that out and buy a spectator ticket either for the 2 days, Friday and Saturday, or just the 1 day Saturday. But if you're just coming to hang out, you got to buy a spectator ticket. That includes all your food, your beer, your wine, your Tour Junkies signature cocktails, 2 meals on Friday, 2 meals on Saturday. Also, there's a couple of other interesting things here. Let's talk about this, Pat. So the Golby's Cup is the event happening on Friday, and that's the Ryder Cup Team DB versus Team Pat. My team versus your team. People have signed up. People have chosen their allegiance. They've chosen me or you and said, I'm a DB guy. I'm a Pat guy. F the other team. Let's roll. Okay, and we've got our teams almost filled out. Here's what I will say. The last possible day for you to sign up for the Golby's Cup 2-day event, showing up to the Ryder Cup style event and playing on either Team DB or Team Pat is by the Friday of next week. What is that? The BMW Championship? So by Friday of next week, we're cutting it off. The teams are cut. So because we have a lot of planning we have to do. Now, Pat, I know you've been doing some planning of your team's already been scheming some things. I mean, the team part is important, right? We've got pairings we need to put guys together. We're going to be sending out team communications, emails, back and forth, chat groups, whatever. So we need those teams finalized so that we can finalize some key details, like what we're wearing, what our plan of attack is going to be, what we're going to do and not do while we're there. Who's playing with who's going out in the first match, who's going out in the anchor match. Because Pat, picture this. On Friday, when these teams tee off, we're going off of number 1 tee, right? All the teams, captains, going to be sitting there watching this go down, and we're going to send them off one by one. And then you and I are not playing. We're riding around captaining our troops, figuring out who's doing what, how things are going, how the matches are going down. It's going to be electric, okay? There's already a lot of crap talking going on in the Nut Hut. It's going to be electric. So then it's going to culminate with the shootout between me and you. All the golf carts piled up on one hole, music blaring, beer, liquor, cart people filling drinks, going everywhere. It's going to be a blast. Mano y mano, me and you going down, probably bringing in a couple of our teammates to hit some shots, okay, for the whole thing, for the whole kid and caboodle, the Golby's Cup, the prize, the pride and the bragging rights coming down to this. When it's over, celebration for the winning team, gifts for the winning team, okay? Punishment for the losing captain. We need to finalize the punishment for the losing captain that will either be paid that Friday evening or possibly Saturday morning before the Saturday scramble kicks off. So looking for suggestions on the punishment for the captain. We've talked about possibly having to dress up in hockey gear and run out to the driving range and let people pelt them with golf ball. The opposing team, winning team, pelt them with golf balls. Anyway, we can be creative. Mountain Valley is letting us do whatever we want. So put that in the comments. We'd love to hear some more suggestions. We will finalize that. And here's a new thing that was recently added to the agenda, and I'm excited about it. Pat Perry will be paying off one of his bets in person at Mountain Valley on either Friday or Saturday. He will be doing a live magic show for everyone in attendance. Give it up.
No, that is not.
That
no,
is awesome, Pat.
I'm doing a magic trick, not a magic show.
Well, now it's kind of a show because now you got to do it live in front of people, and they don't want to see just one trick. So you should probably learn 2 or 3. That's my suggestion. But Pat's going to be doing some magic for everybody.
It's a magic trick. I hate to disappoint a lot of you, but the bet was a magic trick.
We'll see. It'll be at least one trick. Maybe we'll see if we can get him to turn 2 or 3.
Maybe I'll give you a bonus trick.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, it's gonna be nice. Friday night after dinner, after the party, we're gonna kick back. We're gonna watch some, some President's Cup highlights, maybe, I don't know. And then Saturday's college football. Saturday night after the party, college football, President's Cup. Sunday is gonna be NFL, President's Cup, legal gambling state in Pennsylvania. Get there and sign up quickly because next Friday, cutting it off. No more for the 2-day event, Friday and Saturday. If you want to come Saturday and play in the Saturday Scramble, we have more than enough room for you. There's 36 holes at Mountain Valley. There's plenty of teams available. You can either come by yourself. You can bring one person, 2 people, 3 people. It doesn't matter if you have a team or not. We'll match you up with somebody. We'll have a great time. It'll be awesome. Don't worry about it. If you want to come Saturday, but you can't get there Friday until the night and you want to hang, you want to party Friday night, you can buy a spectator Friday ticket that includes your food, your beer, your wine, and then you can buy your Saturday ticket. So event details in the description below. Check it out. It's very important that you realize that is all coming. You can't sign up past next Friday. All right. I think that's everything. Sam, let me know if I forgot anything. Pat, you got anything else you want to add to that?
No, I'm good. I'm excited about it. I think I don't know. I mean, you put a little pressure on me for the magic trick that I'm doing, but I do have some outside help.
Yeah.
By the way, we've had folks reach out to help about magic tricks. If you want to reach out, if you're a magician, if you dabble in the dark arts, just let me know. Okay, add to the show a little bit. If I get good ideas, I'll practice them and I'll do this whole magic show thing that they've invented right here and now. But if not, it's going to be a shitty magic show. So
who knew we had a magician listener? That's fantastic. I love that. I love the variety of people we have listening to the Tour Junkies podcast. Okay, let's move on to some more bets, Pat, shall we? Because these next 2 ranges are where it's hot in the street. I mean, if you think about this event, right, at TPC Southwind or the Northern Trust first FedEx Cup playoff event, obviously at a different golf course, but still a really strong field. If you look back at the winners at both of those events, you have guys like Tony Finau, Dustin Johnson, Patrick Reed, Bryson DeChambeau. Those guys won the Northern Trust. I think Bryson was the longest number in recent years at like 70-1. Yours truly hit that one. But the other 3 were pretty short numbers. At the WGC St. Jude, the last 3 years at Southwind, you had Answer, Brooks Koepka, JT. You had DJ win at TPC Southwind when it was just the regular St. Jude Classic. You had Daniel Berger win it twice. There's not a lot of triple-digit win. I can't find a triple-digit winner. You have to go far, far, far back to Fabian Gomez, Pat, who, do you remember when yours truly also hit Fabian Gomez, Selena's daddy, that year? I believe it was 2015, our first year. 2015 or 2016, one or the other. He won the St. Jude Classic, 150-1. But it's been a bunch of studs. Yeah, it's been a bunch of studs, and obviously with the strong field, that's what you're going to get. So I think this short middle range here is really where you're going to need to overload your betting card. So I doubt my, DB's Big Balls betting card will have too many names on it, or it'll have fewer names than normal. But in this range, Pat, so over the 25-1 range, you got Spieth, Cam Young, Morikawa, Burns, Sung Jae's in there playing good right now. Ju Young Kim, Tom Kim, 40-1. Russell Henley, who we just talked about, 50-1. Terrell Hatton, 50-1. Corey Connors, Aaron Wise, Christian Bezadenhout in there. So in this range, what do we think? What do we think's going on? Oh, Tegan McClure, I think that's how you say it. That's a good question. Who does Willie Z have on the bag this week? Word on the street is Willie Z took Cameron Tringale's longtime caddy. Guy's been out there for like 20 years or something.
What the hell? Now he really doesn't want to win.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I think Tringale was holding the caddy back from getting his first dub on Joel Stock. Yep, that's right. So he's got Joel Stock on the back. Kind of a weird move. I did not see Willie Z letting go of his caddy. It's a weird time to let go of your caddy, don't you think? Like, right?
Well, man, and why do you get a caddy on somebody who also can't win?
The caddy's not holding the club back. Give me a break.
I know, but I think I don't know. I would like a caddy on my back if I'm going to change. That's won on tour, that knows what it's like down the stretch to win. They make a difference.
Maybe it's the veteran caddy, because was Willie Z's caddy a veteran? I don't think he was. Maybe it's like PJ. Maybe he wanted a PJ Tour veteran and he became available. I don't know. Anyway, who do you like in this range? Give it to me.
Well, I like Jordan Spieth at 28-1. I think, Yeah, this is a Jordan Spieth course. I'm actually surprised
I
that,
agree.
you know, I guess he hasn't won on this course. I think this is a great course fit for him. Jordan's been playing well all year long. I like the number at 28-1, so I think you bet that. I like Cam Young. We can't get away from Cam Young. He's at 30-1. The guy's just playing well every single week. He plays well in good fields. He plays well in bad fields. It doesn't really matter. I like Cam Young at 30-1. Two others that I like here, and this is literally my favorite range, and
Yeah.
for the reasons you said. I mean, I just don't think you're going to see a lot of triple digit guys. I do like Hideki at 50-1. Now, I think there's some things that could concern you a little bit about Hideki, okay? But I still think that's a good number for him. And Hideki has not, shown a ton of form lately, but when you look at his past history here, it's good. He's in the top 10 of the field in total strokes gained on this golf course. He's top 15 in strokes gained approach and ball striking. Obviously, the putting on Bermuda is not great, but still, I think Hideki has played well here in the past. 50-1, I like.
With
Um,
Hideki, I do think we should inform people like the withdrawal at the 3M. I'm pretty sure was not injury related, as we're known. I just think we need to get that out there because Hideki's one that people are scared of in terms of injury. His withdrawal at the 3M was only an injury to his. I don't know if it was his pride or his motivation after he put 3 in the water on 18. In like round 1 or round 2, and then he withdrew. And then we talked.
Hideki has a little bit of the Siwoo Kim,
He's
we
got a
go
little
home
bit of that.
now mentality sometimes.
I talked to somebody in his group that day and played in that group and watched him do that and said we were getting some mad gusts on that hole and it was a kind of a fluky thing, no big deal. And then Hideki was like, forget it. Like, let me just get out of here.
Yeah.
And then like a day later, he was video. Somebody shared a video with me of
Speed
him
training.
speed training. So Hideki's fine. The form is a little hit or miss. So I did not write him down just because I think there's some numbers in here that I like a little better, but I did want to let people know, like, I don't think the withdrawal is anything to be, is a concern. All
Yeah.
right, continue.
And then I'll go back to Sung J M, who was 15-1 last week, and he's 35-1 this week.
Yep.
Unless you see a better number out there, Sung J's been playing fantastic. 2 straight second place finishes. I love Sung Jae this week. Another good
Yeah.
course fit for him too. So at 35-1. So those are the names that I'm on right now. You know what? I wouldn't mind going back to Tom Kim. If you're going to give me 45-1, where I've seen him in some books playing as good as he is, coming off of a win, I like it. I like Tom Kim again this week at 45-1. So I'll throw his name out there as well.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think I want to pull the trigger on Tom Kim. But I get it. I get it. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it. Sung Jae is for sure in play for me at 35-1. He was one I have written down, circled, starred, all the above. Has not played well at TPC Southwind in 2 tries. It hasn't been terrible, but it hasn't been great. But there's it's hard to deny how he's playing right now. So I like that for Sung Jae that he's a Bermuda guy. I love that. Um, I think one of the things that's not going to be talked about enough leading up to this event is scrambling around this golf course and
Yeah.
specifically scrambling on Bermuda in Bermuda rough that is grainy, that is or tight lies even. Bermuda tight lies to me are worse than Bermuda rough around the greens. I would almost rather have just the rough. But the tight lies into the grain or cross grain can be very gnarly. So if you have a guy that can chip and putt well on Bermuda surfaces, I think that bodes well. And Sung Jae is one of those guys that does that very well. So I'm a fan of Sung Jae. Another guy that does that very well, you also mentioned in Jordan Spieth. I agree with you on Jordan. So consensus here on Jordan and Sung Jae. I like both of those guys. I got 3 different players here though that I like a lot, and I really like the value on these guys. And the first one is Billy Ho at 45 to
Yeah.
1
Agreed.
on BetMGM. Another Bermuda specialist kind of guy, a guy who has definitely. I mean, he's a FedEx Cup champion. He knows how to turn up for the playoffs. He hits a lot of fairways. Being in the fairway is I think very important here. Um, maybe a little like it's similar to Sedgefield in that I think being in the fairways is pretty important, but maybe you can get away with a little more
I
driver.
think it's more important just because of the fact that there's so much is in play as far as water hazards off the tee.
Yeah, so like I think guys might hit more drivers here than last week at Sedgefield, but you just you can't be too wayward, right? You can't be too wayward. But Billy Ho finds a lot of fairways. Obviously, just won the Memorial a couple weeks ago. I think I think he played last week, and it was kind of a let me shake the rust off. He talked about it in his press conference last week. He said, I've done nothing, no golf since the Open Championship. I've been playing with my kids. I've been spending time with my family. He talked about his daughter in cheer school or whatever's going on. And then he finished 27th, probably not with his best stuff, probably just getting the cobwebs out and ready to peak for the playoff event. And he has played TPC Southwind extremely well in years past. If you look at what he did at the St. Jude Classic, what he's done at the WGC St. Jude, I mean, one, two, three, four top tens. I'm sorry, no, five top tens and six or seven top 25s at TPC Southwind. Like this, Billy Ho clearly loves this golf course. 45-1 on BetMGM is the number. Aaron Wise. I saw some people in the chat talking about Aaron Wise. Listen, I love Aaron Wise. I talked about it last week. He came up and I said I was fading him. I said I was out. Well, to my detriment, I faded him. He played well last week. I normally am not one to fade Aaron Wise. I'm usually all over that despite really poor iron play, and that does concern me a little bit because his irons have been so solid. I mean, so solid, but he lost like 3.5 strokes with his irons. He gained a ton off the tee, and the short game was pretty on point for Wise. He's a great scrambler, but the irons worry me a little bit, but still at 65-1, I think I'll take a shot on DraftKings on Aaron Wise. Um, the last one in this range for me is a guy that I don't think I've bet in quite a long time, Pat. I don't know that either one of us have bet this guy in some time. I'm gonna bet a little. If you're in the Nut Hut, you know him by Coco. That is Corey Connors.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
okay.
bet the Canadian. The T21 at the Wyndham last week doing everything well except typical Corey Connors losing 3 strokes on the putting green. Don't love to see that. Kind of middling finishes in the last 3 years here. At the WGC St. Jude, but I just like where the ball striking is. I like that Connors is going to probably stay out of a lot of trouble here. He's a very accurate player off the tee, accurate ball striker. I don't see him taking a lot of, drops from water holes and all this stuff. You just need the putter to do a little something. And he's had some flashing weeks with the putter in 2022. He's not really come close to contending, it feels like, maybe outside of, a brief moment at the Masters, but we know Corey Connors is capable of closing the door. 66-1 on BetMGM is the number for Corey Connors. Any thoughts on Billy Ho, Wise, or Corey?
I do like Billy Ho a lot. As a matter of fact, I have him written down, but did not mention him, and I do like him. So I'm a big fan of Horschel this week. I don't know about Wise and Connors. I was out on I liked Wise more than you did last week. I was kind of out on Connors. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna pass on him this week.
Okay. Well, what you should not be passing on is an opportunity to buy coffee with me and Pat's face on it. Our face is on
Yeah.
coffee.
No.
Okay. Our flavor desires have been implanted into this coffee. We have met with the roasters and we have said this is what we like in a coffee. It's delicious. And then the people at Front Nine Coffee made it happen. And you can go to front9coffee.com right now and order coffee with our faces and our flavor profiles in and wake up with a cup of DB or Pat in your cup. And I think there's no better gift that we could give to you, honestly. And the people at Front Nine Coffee made it happen. So you can use promo code TJ10 and get 10% off any order in their shop. And you can do it over and over and over again. So order yourself a bunch of coffee. It's a great small business. Front Nine started right here in Augusta, Georgia. Small business doing big things here. They love golf. They love coffee. They're great people. Support a good small business. Head over to Front Nine. That's the number 9, front9coffee.com. Promo code TJ10 to get 10% off your entire order. We really appreciate Front Nine doing their thing. We're hearing great reviews on the coffee. A lot of you too, a lot of drinking the coffee. By the way, Front Nine will also be at our live golf event in September. They're going to do a coffee takeover for the whole weekend. including obviously morning coffee, but also in the evening and late afternoons. If you need a little pick me up, I think we'll probably have some coffee cocktails available.
Or hey, you could even have coffee cocktail in the morning.
You could have one of those in the morning.
Nobody's against that.
No, that sounds delicious.
By the way, I might have to use the code. Can we use the code? Because
Yeah.
I'm almost out of my bump and run.
Are
It's
you?
so delicious that I'm almost out of it already. So
Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, mine. I'm probably more frugal with mine because I don't have that $800 machine that probably wastes all this. You probably have a lot of waste in your coffee. I don't have a lot of waste. Okay.
okay.
Here we go. Let's move on to the next tier. Up to 130 to 1 on DraftKings. Talking bombs, talking long shots. There's some names in here that are tempting, people. There's some names in here that are tempting. We got to say to ourselves, are they going to close the door and win against some of the, this possibly one of the strongest fields in golf? JT Poston's in here. Taylor Pendrith continues to do his thing. Shez Reavie is here. I mean, Siwoo Kim. He said, we go home now last week at the Wyndham, but he's back here. He's ready to go. Cam Davis, Scott Stallings staying hot. Sahith is back after taking 1 week off. Mav McNeely and Adam Hadwin. Just a few names here in this range, Pat. I think I'm a little tempted, and I'm almost like, I don't know if I don't even feel good saying it because I feel like I'm kind of late to the party on this guy. I really haven't played a lot of this guy. I definitely haven't bet him. Which, I mean, from a betting standpoint, outright, I haven't missed anything yet, but I haven't been playing him in DFS. But I feel kind of late to the party on Taylor Pendrith since he's come back from injury. He's come back from injury. He's finished 13th at the Barbasol, runner-up at the Rocket, 13th at the Wyndham. Now, this is a big boy event. This is a big boy party, but he also finished 13th at the Players at a big boy party. Played well at Torrey Pines, at the Farmers. He's obviously a bomber, but I don't know, 100 to 1, like just as good as he's playing, it's a little tempting for me that a guy like Pendrith could do it. First win on the PJ Tour being a FedEx Cup playoff event with this kind of field is probably unlikely, but it's a little tempting. I just gotta say, I have a much better feeling about JT Poston at 120 to 1 on FanDuel. Continues to play well. Had a good week last week. Could have gotten in contention. Didn't quite do enough on the weekend to make it happen. But I like Poston here. I'm still going to roll with Scott Stallings. And now we're in Memphis. Now we're in Scott's backyard. I like that for Stallings. He didn't end up being a part of the possible, winning conversation last week. But still, another strong finish out of Scott Stallings. He is just hitting the ball so well right now. And I actually think I think TPC Southwind sets up better for Scott Stallings, honestly. 13th at the Wyndham, 10th at the Rocket Mortgage, 4th at the Deere, 8th at the Travelers, 4th at the Charles Schwab. I mean, that's sick. Like, the guy's really hot right now. His record at the St. Jude or at TPC Southwind, he had a runner-up way back in 2013. Other than that, like, not a whole lot to talk about. He hasn't played in any of the WGC events here, but just kind of making cuts and doing his thing. But I feel like he's arriving as a different player right now. So 130 to 1 for Scott Stallings is interesting to me. I mean, and honestly, Siwoo at 130 to 1 is interesting to me just because he's either going to win or he's going to go home, like, early or on Friday, something like that. Like, Siwoo's still like super hot in the streets right now. Like, wasn't he up there after day one yesterday or last week at the Wyndham?
Yeah,
he had a bad Friday or Saturday or whatever it was. Saturday, I guess.
He just knew the better Kim was going to win this week. So,
well, let's not get out ahead of ourselves with Tom Kim. I just think for all the names down there, Siwoo to me is the name that could go ahead and snatch it from the likes of Rory and Scotty and Xander and JT. If he was down there and in the running, that's all I'm saying. So I'm tempted by those guys.
Well, I mean, we know that Siwoo can be aggressive too, and he can win at any time as long as he's not he's not ready to go home. So I'm surprised we didn't like none of the names we wrote down are the same here, and I have three guys all at 130 to 1 that I think are worth looking at. One is Cam Davis, who's at 130 to 1. He's got 2 straight top 20 finishes.
I like it.
He's a guy that, when you look at the stats for him, he definitely checks some boxes. He's top 20 in the field in approach and ball striking. Top 35 off the tee. Putt's okay on Bermuda. He's 57th in the field there. Not a great scrambler, but still, Cam Davis is playing well. I like 130 to 1. Sahith Theegala, another guy that's been playing extremely well, and he took that break that we were finally asking him to take. You know, he had like 20 straight weeks it felt like he was playing. I know that isn't how many he played, but still, he played a lot of weeks in a row. He's had a little bit of a break. We're getting him at 130 to 1, a guy who's played fantastic all year. I like him. And then here's one that I've hated. I've hated this guy, but now I want to play him, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the stats that are right here in front of me. Mito Pereira at 130 to 1.
Mito's been MIA lately.
Well, I mean, he sucked it over in Scotland. And I mentioned this earlier. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to like just completely be off guys that played terrible in Scotland and then took a little bit of a break, which is what he did. He took a break after Scotland, missed the cut at the Scottish Open and the Open Championship. But still, you go just look at his stats. Top 20 in the field, approach, ball striking, off the tee, top 35 in scrambling. So Mito is a guy that I think can win. You know, if we're looking at triple-digit guys that can win, I think he can do that. So I'll go with him at 130 to 1 as well.
Respect on the Mito call. I mean, I like it. It feels ballsy. I don't know that I don't know that I trust the form at this point, but I respect the call. I respect the call. You know, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like thinking about Pendrith versus Theegala. Like if you had to pick one, and now that I'm thinking about it, I think I would rather have Theegala. Although the driver scares me a little bit with Theegala. He can kind of spray the driver. That scares me a little bit, but I just now that I'm thinking about it, like Theegala's been in the hunt so much more than Pendrith has.
He really has. Pendrith has been playing good lately.
The waste management, like all that kid learned, being down the stretch there. I mean, Pendrith was too at one event, but wasn't it like a alternate event or something, wasn't it? That he could have won.
I mean, I almost won 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, the Rocket Mortgage, yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I get it with Pendrith. I mean, I think the love is warranted. For me, I'm just going a little more long term here with the guy because Pendrith had some rough months too. So both very talented players though. Yeah, Pendrith can hit at a mile.
All right, let's talk about bombs over 130 to 1. I got two. I don't have too much here. I just don't know that it's going to come from this range. The two that I have are both at 250 to 1, Pat. The first one is Kurt Kitayama. I just like if I'm going to bet a guy down here, I want to bet a guy that that really has some get up and go and some firepower, right? I mean, I would much rather bet Kitayama with his ability to score, his ability to kind of maul a golf course if he's on, versus a guy like Peter Malnati who's just gonna dork the hell out of the golf course until he just nerds it into submission with
the hell out of a
putting stroke and his dumb hat. But I mean, a guy like Kitayama, like third at the Honda, runner up at Mexico, runner up at the Genesis Scottish. Remember when he almost won that? And we were like, what the is going on? Like had a couple good rounds at the Open. He's a very volatile player, but I would rather put my money at 250 to 1 on a guy like that. After him is a guy similar, also at 250 to 1, who just won on the PGA Tour, and is Trey Mullinax, a guy I think you talked about last week or the week before, maybe. But yeah, won the Barbasol, finished 21st at the Open Championship. Mullinax, making his second run around the PGA Tour after losing his card a while back and going back to the Korn Ferry Tour. But he has played this event twice, and he's finished 18th and 6th. And wasn't the Barbasol in Tennessee? Like, clearly there's a Tennessee connection with Trey Mullinax.
I think it's in Kentucky.
Oh, no, it's in Kentucky. That's right. Yeah. Right next to Tennessee. So anyway, Trey Mullinax to me at 250 to 1 is worth a stab. Just a guy that's got chops that could get it done. Other than that, I don't see a lot in here that I love.
Okay. I got a name for you that you haven't heard probably in a little bit. Since the beginning of the year, actually, when he seemed to do really well. And he does a lot of things that are interesting because I believe he wears 2 gloves sometimes.
Oh.
Not Tommy Gainey.
No, he's not here.
I believe this guy has iron covers. for a good reason, according to him. If you look up the story, Aaron Rye is 200 to 1. And now let me explain this a little bit about Aaron Rye. He's played here twice in the last 2 years. He finished 26th in 2021. He finished 12th in 2019. A very astute commenter here in the chat just mentioned how if you spray the driver at TPC Southwind, if we want to put that up, you're going to get your ass.
In response to my your Sahith play, and
yeah,
my
you're
play.
And I said Sahith too. You're going to get your ass handed to you, which I agree with in a lot of ways. And Aaron Rye is top 15 in this field in driving accuracy, so obviously controls the driver very well, which is one of the reasons that he's played well here. He is 6th in the field in par 4 scoring from 450 to 500 yards. There are a lot of long par 4s on this golf course. I like that. He's 35th strokes gained total on this golf course since he's played here.
I like the Rye play.
So Aaron Rye, even though his form is not great, missed 2 cuts out of his last 3 tournaments, and then he made the cut last week and finished 71st. Form is not there. But I do think he's getting on a course that he seems to like. He's shown some history here. His stats fit the course. I like Aaron Rye at 200 to 1. And if you don't like that, I'll talk about him as a top 20 here in just a little bit. So there you go.
All right, let me ask you about one more guy before we move on to our favorite outrights in our top 20s. And it's brought up here by Mightiest Helmets. By the way, totally loved the HV3 interview. Was awesome, DB. Was a very good interview. You need to check that out if you've not already listened to that. It's on podcast. It's in the YouTube channel. Fantastic interview. Hated to see HV3 miss the cut last week. I believe he missed it on the number. Maybe he missed it on the number. He finished even. The cut was 1 under. I kind of had a little concern about HV3 last week because, like, he had taken some time off after the Open, hanging out a lot with the kids. He strikes me as a guy who, kind of would take his time off and, like, enjoy his time off. A little bit like I was saying with Billy Ho, like, not pick up a golf club and then just come see what he's got at the Wyndham, right? And at the Wyndham, it wasn't terrible. I mean, the ball striking, the iron play wasn't as hot as it had been, but it wasn't negative. It wasn't in the red. He gained strokes off the tee. He just didn't really scramble all that well. And the worst thing he did was he didn't really putt that well, which I could imagine. I mean, first of all, he's not a great putter anyway. And then just, not having probably picked up a putter in a while, it could have been bad. But what do you think about HV3? It's like around 100 to 1. He's played here 3 times never in the WGC events, but he's played at the St. Jude Classic, finished 16th, missed the cut, and 51st. Do we think he could get a stateside PGA Tour victory at this place at 100 to 1?
I don't have a feeling that he can. No. I feel like there's too much trouble around this golf course for HV3. Like, I just feel like he could have some serious blow-up holes, which he tends to have, especially when he's in contention.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't see it with him.
We'll dig deeper. Maybe in the Nut Hut on Wednesday night, we'll have a little inside scoop for everybody. I could just – it's the name I'm going to be watching. All right.
Okay.
We've named a bunch of outrights. Time to talk about our favorites, the ones we like the most, and the top 20s we like, and then we're going to get out of here. By the way, this segment last week is what delivered the Max McGreevy 20 to 1 top 20 bet. 20 to 1 top 20 bet. You guys, I mean, what are we doing? All right, it's presented to you by Covers, covers.com. Winning starts at covers.com. Pat, your favorite outrights. Who are your favorites? The ones that you love the most, the ones you want to get on right now. What are they?
All right, here they are. Starting on the shorter end, JT at 18 to 1 is my favorite at the top of the board there. I love Justin Thomas this week as one here on this course. So big fan there. And then I'm going to go with his buddy, his partner in crime, Jordan Spieth at 28 to 1. I like him also. And then when I'm going a little bit longer here, I'm going to go with, let's see, I'll leave somebody here for you. So I'll go a little bit longer then. I'll go with Mito. I'll go with Mito Pereira at 130 to 1.
Wow.
I'm going to leave you one that I think you're going to want to.
Okay. Well, you and I both liked Finau at 22 to 1 on FanDuel. I think that's a great number considering how well he's playing. I don't really care that the history here hasn't been great. The guy is hot right now, and I just don't want to pass that up at a 20. At 20 to 1 or longer. I think that's crazy to pass up. Billy Ho loves TPC Southwind, loves Bermuda, hits a bunch of fairways, good around the greens, good Bermuda putter. Won just a few weeks ago. FedEx Cup champion. What are we doing? 45-1 on MGM. Hit that. Corey Connors, the Canadian, 66-1 on BetMGM. I don't think gets in a lot of trouble here this week. Definitely hits a ton of fairways, hits a ton of greens and reg. Just needs some putts to drop. And these are some pretty pure Bermuda champion, Bermuda grass greens. If he can just get a little bit of magic on the greens, we're good. Corey Connors, 66-1 on BetMGM. And then I'll give you two more. JT Poston at 120-1. I'm going to continue to ride the hot form. A player that could suit the profile here very well in Tennessee with hitting fairways, making putts, good around the greens. Give me JT Poston at 120, and the Tennessee boy Scott Stallings at 130-1. Those are my favorites. Did I say your name? Say the name that you thought about?
No, you didn't. I was leaving Sung JM for you because we both had agreements there.
Sung Jae.
Yeah.
Yes, Sung Jae is a favorite.
Little bonus pick for you.
Yep. So we have consensus on Finau, Sung Jae, and that would be it, huh?
Fitzy was another one we had some consensus on.
And Spieth. All right, top 20s. Let's talk about some top 20s. I'm going to start with some bombs, Pat. In terms of like bombs I feel good about, like I would say Kitayama, but I don't feel great about that. I'd just rather put a little fractional unit on him to win and just forget about it. Andrew Putnam at 5-1. I talked about him last week on one of my shows. I don't know if it was the Sleeper show or the First Look show, or maybe it was on our show, last Monday night. But I talked about Andrew Putnam at some point, I know, and I played him in DraftKings. Turned out well. He's playing well, hits fairways, great around the greens, 5-1 top 20. Your boy Aaron Rye, you already mentioned. I'll just take him. You said you were going to mention him, but we both agree 5-1. I had him written down as well as a top 20. I like Scott Stallings at plus 330. I like JT Poston and Chris Kirk at plus 280. We didn't talk about Kirk. I like Chris Kirk a lot here too. Similar skill set there. Russell Henley at plus 190. Like a top 20 I believe in for Russell Henley. Just the ball striking being so good. I'll take that for Russell Henley plus 190. Corey Connors plus 230. Billy Ho and Sung J.M. Billy Ho's plus 170. Sung Jae's plus 150. Sung Jae's the shortest top 20 number I'm interested in because I'm only going to bet plus money top 20s. Sung Jae and Billy Ho feel pretty automatic for me.
Okay. I'll start with, I didn't have them written down really as an outright, but I liked your argument for him. But Aaron Wise plus 230 as a top 20. I like that. I like Davis Riley at plus 280. I like Scott Stallings also at plus 330. By the way, 4 straight top 15 finishes, not just top 20, but top 15 finishes. How about Alex Smalley at plus 400? Here's a guy that's also has 3 top 20s in his last 4 events. So I like Alex Smalley there. I mentioned Aaron Rye, and you mentioned him as well at plus 500. Colin Tarrant, how could you not talk about him? Plus 500.
10th event in a row now for Colin Tarrant, and the guy's still doing his
thing. And then the longest shot I have is Trey Mullinax at plus 650. And I'll tell you, he finished 6th here in 2018. That's before his injury, where a lot of things went wrong in his career after that. But he's been playing well with a win a few weeks ago. I like him at plus 650.
Yeah, I like the Mullinax call. That's probably a better bomb than a Kitayama at that same number. I like that. All right. Cool. That's it. That's the betting show. That's the betting picks for the FedEx St. Jude Championship presented by Covers.com. Winning starts at Covers.com. Check it out. Check out our article on Tuesday and make your bookie pay, people. Okay? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the like button here on the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Let's have a week and bend over your bookie.